Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to This Sweet Journey. Lorelai is 5.5 months old, and 2 months ago, when she was 3.5 months old, she developed a rash, and about the same time, she also started pooping inconsistently. Regularly, she was going once every day, sometimes even more, and she ended up slowing down to once every 4 days. And so I had an idea that maybe those two things were linked, but I wasn't quite sure. So I gave it a week to see if anything would change. She started with the rash right next to her belly button, really small, and it started to grow a little bit. So I decided to call her doctor, and they said to give her apple juice for her bowel movements and to put Vaseline on her rash. I tried to give her apple juice. She didn't like it. And so I drank it instead because I'm breastfeeding her. So I thought maybe that could help. And then I also put some Vaseline on her rash. Her rash, the dryness of the rash went away, but not the redness. So I wasn't going to schedule an appointment because I already had a 4-month appointment coming up for her. So I decided to wait until then to mention anything to the doctor. I started researching what this rash could be. It looked kind of like heat rash, but also like eczema, and so I wasn't quite sure if it was that at all or if it was something completely different, but I started looking up what could cause rashes, and some say that a dairy intolerance or allergy or sensitivity could cause a rash, and so I decided to cut back on dairy. I still ate cheese and butter, but I didn't drink any more milk. I was drinking at least 1 cup a day with my coffee every day, and so I decided just not to drink any milk to see if that would help. One of my friends also mentioned that her son had a rash like that, and his was eczema, and so my mother-in-law said that eczema is a digestive thing, and so I should maybe take probiotics. So I decided to start taking probiotics, and to alleviate the rash for the time being, I tried lotion and diaper rash cream and the Vaseline, and it didn't seem to help with it, but I did have this baby salve, and it actually helped really well. It took away the redness and everything. So I was using this for the time being to keep everything at bay. It's a baby salve by Utter Delight Natural Skincare with olive oil, lavender, chamomile, beeswax, shea butter, and vitamin E oil, and it really did help to clear up that rash. Her rash had started at her belly button and moved up her upper body, and it was on her elbows and her knees too. And so I was just putting it wherever the rash was. I'll be right back. And say good morning, or rather good afternoon. So anyways, I also noticed that her rash would get worse, kind of be like a flare-up after her baths, and I looked up that if, it is eczema, that the minerals in water can be kind of harsh on sensitive skin, so just to do cooler baths, and that's what I started doing. I started doing body temperature baths, which actually really did help. She stopped having the flare-ups after bath time. So come 2 weeks later, her rash completely cleared up and her bowel movements have become consistent again. And I mentioned it to her doctor when we had her 4-month checkup, and he said that it wouldn't be a milk allergy because you usually see blood in the stool with that. So I mentioned that I started taking probiotics and that the rash cleared up and that she was consistently pooping again. And he said that probiotics have no scientific proof that they help with anything, so that I shouldn't waste my money on probiotics. But I mean, from a motherly instinct, I do believe the probiotics did help. I didn't try giving her a children's probiotic, or like an infant probiotic. I know that there are infant probiotics out there, but I didn't try giving her any. I just took some myself. And the doctor did say something about it could be a digestive issue, so I'm not quite sure why he said that probiotics wasn't helping, but anyways. So I do believe that taking the probiotics, putting this baby salve on her rash every day, and body temperature baths did help a lot. The salve and the body temperature baths are more for the symptoms of the eczema, and then taking the probiotics, I do feel cleared up her eczema and helped because she drinks breast milk, so she gets what I get, and taking the probiotics myself has helped her digestive system, therefore clearing up her eczema. So if you have a baby and they just developed a rash that's eczema-like, do your research. That's what I did. I looked up the pictures of different rashes to see what hers looked like and what her symptoms were. But I urge you to try, if you are breastfeeding, to try taking probiotics. And if you're not breastfeeding, maybe think about an infant probiotic and talk with your doctor about that, obviously. And then use this baby salve to alleviate the symptoms and do body temperature baths to avoid a flare-up. But now I do warmer baths and it doesn't flare up anything. Her eczema appears to be completely gone. I haven't stopped taking probiotics, and I don't really necessarily want to, just for doing an experiment. I don't really want it to come back. So I hope this information was helpful to you if your child has that type of rash with inconsistent bowel movements. Thank you for watching this video. If you like to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any video updates from me. I hope you have a great rest of your day.